Hello there, dear YouTubers. My name is King1993, and today I'll be talking about another character in this game which has been released in this version, but I was unable to talk about it at the beginning. So, even though this is a late thing, at least I am gonna be able to talk about it so that you guys will be able to know which type of weapon Stigmata set you should be getting for the following character. And today's character will be called Durandal, Palatinus Equinox. So, when it comes to the physical damage dealing, the maximum physical damage dealing that is possible in the game by a certain character would be Durandal, Palatinus, Equinox. Now, the question is why? Well, that is because Palatinus Equinox, according to Marisa Honkai, is one of the most strongest physical damage dealer at the moment in the game. So, obviously, you trying to get this character is obviously a very yes type of situation. Like if you get this character, that is a yes, and if you want to go to maximum quantity of physical damage, that is also a yes. Okay, now other than that, the question remains is what is her signature weapon. Now when it comes to her signature weapon are the following, such as Midnight Athaijina, and this one is 3 pieces of Durandal. Now I only have this weapon in the 5-star version. I will eventually make this weapon into a 6-star weapon, but other than that, when it comes to this Stigmata set, I do not have a single one of them. Neither do I planning on getting them. But the question is, okay, why? Well, the thing is, there are up to 72 characters with augmentation in total. So if you want to get each and every one of these Valkyrie characters their own uh, signature weapon and their own signature Stigmata set, it is almost gonna be not possible for a free-to-play account. Okay, which is why having an alternative is a very good option. Now, because of that, I have come up with this thing. This one was actually made by Marisa Honkai. Marisa Honkai is a Leviathan class spender in this game. So basically speaking, Marisa Honkai spends more than thousands of dollars in this game to make sure that a certain character can be uh, turned into into a triple S rank. So Marisa Honkai does a triple S rank type of, what should I call it, spending in this game. Like Palatinus Equinox is already hard to get, and that guy basically spends thousands of dollars, which basically makes him a whale. So anyway, that guy put enough money to actually come up with this chart. Now, the thing about this chart is gonna be the following. For example, if you are a beginner, then these two weapons are gonna be the very good option. Now, the question is, why is that? That is because there is a section in this game where you can basically force equipment. Okay, and once you force equipment, click on this place and then go to this place, and you can see that there is basic weapon and there is this bounty weapon. Now, if you were to ask me which weapon costs the least amount of grinding, then start with this endothermic lens. It costs the lowest amount of materials, or let's just say this material is very easy to get compared to this one. Okay, so if you want to get large quantity of this, what should I call it, damage output at the beginning, then these two weapons are basically a free to play weapon, and you can get these two weapons to do the maximum amount of damage possible at a lower ranking. Okay, especially if you are a beginner. Okay, but as you go to higher ground, you will eventually realize that Bright Knight Exilis, these two weapons are basically the weapon that belongs to Bright Knight Exilis, and Bright Knight Exilis is now not the what should I call it, best physical damage dealer in the game anymore. So as a result, let's say for some reason you have this Abyss Flower or Lars Ataraxia, okay, then you can basically give this weapon to Palatinus Equinox. But if you somehow manage to get the pre-armed weapon, then that is a very good thing. Okay, now I highly suggest that you try to get this weapon. That is because this weapon is a game changer. Now, when it comes to the Stigmata set, obviously there is also a Stigmata set section, and from this Stigmata set section, there are many Stigmata sets here, especially the physical damage dealing ones such as Dirac, Michelangelo, or let's say Marco Polo. Like all of them are very good, but the question remains is why am I talking about this free to play Stigmata set? Well, as I said, that as a free to play account, the amount of crystals you have will be very limited, and if you were to get any excess amount of crystals, as you can see here, about 6,600 crystals cost about $100. That is way too much. Okay, well, like way too much spending. So what can you do? Okay, the following things which you can do is to make sure that you can at least get the minimum requirements, and that is the weapon, and then you can use some other type of mix and match type of stigmata set in the game. Okay, now what do I mean by mix and match? Well, the thing is, for example, let's say if you do not have these 4 pieces of Bianca, then you can definitely give let's say this 1 pieces of Dante and 2 pieces of Alicia, because 2 of these Alicia are basically free to play. So if you want to do about 89.92 amount of damage to the enemies using this weapon in the pre-arm and using this stigmata set, then this is going to be still a very good option. Okay, and there are others as well. For example, if you, let's say, were to not give this set, and if you were to have 4 pieces of Alicia, then it is still gonna be a very good option. I do not know whether it is gonna be best or not, but as you can see here, the more higher ranking, what should I call it, the more higher ranking stigmata set you try to give to Durandal, the better the damage output is gonna be. So do keep that in mind. So what basically I'm trying to say is, if you try to grind for any of these stigmata set from this stigmata section, then you are still going to be able to do about 90% of damage output, which is still better than not getting at least a G4 or G3 stigmata set. Okay, so that is the thing. Now another thing about weapons and the stigmata set is, when you are planning on trying to get a weapon or stigmata set, get them from the focus supply, either A or B, because in the focus supply A or B, you are guaranteed to get a weapon, and the pulls that you did is gonna cross over to the next section. Whereas in expansion supply equipment section, whatever you do here is not gonna be turned over to the next section, which is why your chances of getting all 3 of these Bianca set and these what should I call it, weapon is gonna be extremely low. So be careful of that. Okay, which is why you must need to get an additional information regarding of which other free to play stigmata set are still a very good option. Okay, now here is another important thing. When it comes to the elf, you might be wondering, okay, what is the best elf for the Palatinus Equinox? Now, for the best elf for Palatinus Equinox is the Blade Durandal. Now, why is that? First of all, as a free-to-play account, this Blood Emerald is the only option you are gonna have at the beginning. Now, if you try to spend any crystals, then this Stellasora is a good option. But the best option is this Blade Durandal, is because this one can only do physical damage, whereas this one can only do physical support. But if you want both physical damage and physical support, then this is the best one. So if you want both physical damage and physical support, try to go for this Blade Durandal. Okay, now other than that, if you're wondering, okay, how can I practice? Well, there is a section here. Go to this attack section and then click on these events, click on this tactical class. Now once you do that, you can basically select the following characters, whichever character you have, and whichever character you have. Okay, remember, you must need to have the character in order to use them. So let's say you have this Palatinus Equinox, which I have all of them, which is why all of them are active. The only one that is not active, I think, is this one. Okay, this is the only one which is not active. That is because I do not have this Star Charger mix, and even if you were to not have them, I guess you can still use the trial version to actually know how to use that following character. Anyways, the similar can be said about this one. If you have the character, there is no problem, and if you do not have the character, then in this game it is basically gonna show you what are the maximum damage output, what are the maximum way you can use this character. Now the best way you can use this character is if you were to have this Partial of Sentience with these stigmata sets and this weapon and this Carol Pepper. Okay, then you will be able to do a large quantity of physical damage dealing using Midnight Atagina. So if you have Palatinus Equinox and Sweet and Spicy, Carol Pepper and Partial Sentence Fupa, then the maximum damage output is gonna be a lot high. Okay, so that is overall my conclusion on which type of free-to-play weapon, stigmata set, and support character as well as elf you should be getting to make sure that you can maximize the amount of damage you can do using the Palatinus Equinox character. Okay, so if you like this video regarding the information which I just shared with you, then please give a like and subscribe and click the bell notification icons, because next time I will be talking about Spinastera and so on, whichever character comes in the future. Okay, so goodbye and stay safe.